In a quiet Georgia neighborhood, an old woman's life was about to change forever. Mama Ellie, known for her warm kitchen and open heart, lived a gentle existence. But one rainy night, a desperate knock on her door would shatter the calm, bringing a bruised, shivering 10-year-old boy into her world. He was running from a nightmare, and she, a stranger, became his only hope. What happened next would weave their lives together in a way neither could have imagined, bridging decades and defiance, all leading to a courtroom where a powerful secret would finally be revealed. Before we move on, please let us know which country you're listening from, and please do subscribe to our channel. In Sweetwater Hollow, Georgia on Magnolia Lane, stood the home of Eleanor Johnson, known to all as Mama Ellie. At 72, she was a quiet pillar of the community, her life woven with kindness and the comforting scent of cornbread. She lived alone, but her table was always open, her heart always welcoming. One rainy evening as twilight deepened, a soft, hesitant knock echoed through her quiet kitchen. Mama Ellie, wiping her hands on her apron, answered the door. Standing there was a boy, no more than 10, soaked from the drizzle, his small body trembling. Bruises marred his pale face, one eye swollen. "Please don't make me go," he whispered, his voice raw with exhaustion and fear. Without a word, Mama Ellie extended her hand. She led him inside, the door clicking shut behind them, sealing off the storm outside. The warm kitchen, filled with the aroma of gumbo, seemed to enfold him. He stood dripping, wary, his eyes darting. Mama Ellie calmly ladled soup into a bowl, setting it before him with a thick slice of cornbread. "It's got a little heat, but it's real kind to the belly," she said softly. The boy ate slowly at first, then with desperate hunger. When he finished, he looked at her, his eyes asking the question he couldn't speak, "Am I safe?" Mama Ellie nodded. "You got a name, baby?" she asked gently. "Elijah," he whispered. "Eli," she repeated, a gentle smile. "That's a strong name, strong like roots." He flinched, then pleaded, "Please don't call nobody. I'll be good. I can't go back." Mama Ellie draped a faded Afghan blanket over his shivering shoulders. "I ain't sending you back, sugar. Not tonight, not ever to danger, but I do have to call someone who can help you the right way. You're safe here till then, you hear me?" A single tear slipped down Eli's cheek. Mama Ellie gently cupped his face, brushing it away. She stepped into the next room, dialing the rotary phone, her voice steady as she requested a child welfare officer, emphasizing no uniforms or flashing lights. When she returned, Eli was curled on the couch, already sleeping, the profound sleep that follows long, hard fear. Mama Ellie sat beside him, her hand resting lightly on his shoulder, a silent promise to protect him. The night passed in quiet watchfulness for Mama Ellie. As dawn broke, a calm knock announced Miss Evelyn Reed, a caseworker from the Department of Family and Children's Services. Mama Ellie quietly recounted Eli's bruises and terror. Ms. Reed nodded, acknowledging his history of running, noting, this time, someone actually opened the door. Mama Ellie gently woke Eli. "Eli, baby," she murmured, "there's a kind lady here to help. You won't be hurt, but we need to talk about what happens next." Eli sat up, his small hands clutching his knees. "Do I have to leave?" he asked, defeat in his voice. Mama Ellie took his hand. "Not right now, and not to where you came from. That ain't ever happening again, you hear me?" Ms. Reed knelt, her voice warm. "Eli, we'll find a safe foster home. But for a few days, if Miss Eleanor agrees, you can stay right here." "He's got a room already," Mama Ellie confirmed, "and groceries enough for a week. Don't need no government check. Just need to know he's not going back to hell." Hope flickered in Eli's eyes. Mama Ellie led him to the spare room, telling him he could unpack his heart here, one piece at a time. Over the next days, Eli slowly began to trust. He had nightmares, but Mama Ellie was always there. She taught him to stir gumbo, to shell peas, to read the weather. He started to set the table without asking, to lean against her during gospel hour. When Miss Reed returned a week later with news of a foster placement, Eli's hands trembled as he packed. Mama Ellie gave him a small notebook. On the first page, in her careful script, she had written, "You are seen. You are safe. You are somebody." At the door, Eli paused. "Will I see you again?" Mama Ellie cupped his cheek. "You will, baby. I'll be right here. And you come back when you're ready. This door don't close on people who need love." Eli nodded, lips pressed tight, and followed Miss Reed down the walkway. The house fell quiet, but a seed had been planted, growing silently beyond Magnolia Lane. Years folded into decades. Mama Ellie continued her quiet life, her door always open, her faith in kindness unwavering. Eli, guided by her words, navigated the foster system and excelled in school. He discovered a passion for words, for logic, winning debates and graduating at the top of his class. He went on to law school, dedicating himself to youth defense, carrying Mama Ellie's lessons as his true inheritance. He had no blood family, but he held her words as his most precious legacy. One crisp spring morning, Mama Ellie received a thick cream-colored envelope. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside was a letter on stationery embossed with United States District Court. Dearest Mama Ellie, tomorrow I am being sworn in as a federal judge. You are the reason I stand where I do. I will say your name out loud so the world will know it too. I love you, Mama. Always have, always will. Your son. Eli, her heart swelled. She saw him in her mind, strong and sure. Later, Mikey, her neighbor's son, brought his laptop. On the screen, Eli stood in his black robe. He spoke of his journey, of a broken boy meeting not suspicion but soup and love. He spoke her name, Eleanor Johnson, Mama Ellie. She taught me what dignity looked like, what mercy sounded like, and what it meant to belong. Mama Ellie sat quietly, her hand over her chest. Mikey sniffled. You're famous now, he teased. Baby, she whispered, I've been famous to the only heart that ever mattered. The next morning, a sleek black car pulled into her driveway. The door opened, and there he was, taller, grayer at the temples, but unmistakably Eli. She opened the screen door before he even knocked. He walked up the steps, wrapped his arms around her frail frame, and held her. I came home, he murmured. I'm not here to visit, Mama. I'm here to stay if you'll have me. I want to take care of you now. The door that had once opened to save a boy now opened again to welcome home a man who had kept his promise. Mama Ellie leaned into his embrace. Took you long enough, baby. One evening, as dusk settled, Eli found her resting in her rocker. He took her hand, feeling how fragile she'd become. Mama, he said softly, it's not enough for me to visit anymore. I want you to be my mother, not just in my heart, in name, in everything. Her eyes shimmered. You always were my son, she whispered. From the moment you knocked, baby. Eli kissed her forehead, a promise sealed. That night, under their shared roof, he filed the paperwork to make it true on paper what had long been true in spirit. He signed her name with reverence, Eleanor Johnson, now his mother by choice. He called her Mama, with no hesitation, just profound truth. What act of kindness, no matter how small, has left a lasting impact on your life? Also, what would you have done in place of Mama Ellie if a boy in need of help had knocked on your doorsteps at night? Would you have chosen to understand his situation and help him? Remember, kindness always comes back to you in unexpected ways, as it did for Mama Ellie. Please share your thoughts and comments below.